A lot of my material, as far as like my flooring, my countertops, bathroom, shower tile, things like that, I get it from a place that just specializes selling hotels. All they do is do contracts for hotels and hotel chains. Hello, how are you guys today? Joe Perez from Flipping Unleashed, and today is my first part of my two-part series on how to rehab a home on a budget, which has got some great stuff that's guaranteed to save you guys a ton of money. So watch the video, some great stuff. One of the things that we all understand is that whenever you're doing a flip or you're doing a rental, whatever, your rehab costs break down into two categories: your labor cost and your material cost. These are easy to implement techniques I've learned over the years to help you save as much money as you reasonably can on your projects. All right, so let's get started. First thing that I want you guys to understand is the best workers out there are workers that you can negotiate to pay them on a daily wage. What do I mean by that? You don't want to have like plumbers, electricians, or things like that come out and do work one day for you for 2 hours or an hour and a half or 3 hours, things like that. So what I like to do is I like to find what I call the right workers. And what are the right workers? Well, the right workers have a couple things. One of the things they are is that they're multifaceted. In other words, they can do a lot of different things. I don't really like to bring in crews where, okay, I got my drywallers, I got my plumbers, I got my electricians, I got my flooring guys. No, I don't like that, okay? Because then what happens is that some of those guys, you don't need them that much. They're not gonna do that much work, so their rate's gonna be higher, you know? What you're gonna find is that the longer you hire someone, the more work you give them, the more the rate's gonna drop down and the less they're gonna charge you, right? So find workers that are multi-skilled, that can do multiple things at once, right? You say, well, okay, Joe, find workers, that's fine and dandy, but where am I gonna find those workers? Okay, it's real easy. One, start keeping your eyes open. Whenever you're going to work, you're going to shopping, you're going to the library, whatever errands, whenever you're out, keep your eyes open. You'd be surprised how many times in your neighborhood, the grocery store, the shopping center, whatever, you're going to see people working. You're going to see workers working on a project. That's really important. That's like a major thing to keep your eyes out for, because those guys are gainfully employed. They're probably pretty skilled because they wouldn't be there if they weren't, most likely anyways. So it's a perfect opportunity for you to go and approach them. Go and approach them and go talk to them. Say, hey, hi, how are you guys? My name is Joe. I'm a real estate investor. Hey, you ever do like any other work? You take on any other projects? I'd love to get your phone number. Bam. Get their phone number. That's a good source. Another good source that I like is apartment managers. Apartment managers and property managers. Those are always really good sources to find people because they have to do all kinds of repairs, but they can't afford to pay full price for the repairs, right? They need people who can do good work, but charge a reasonable rate, because most of the times apartment managers and property managers, they work on budgets, right? Landlords don't want to pay a lot of money for repairs. So it's an easy way to get workers that are already vetted. Same thing with investors. You know, there's investors out there that sometimes have crews that are just sitting because the investor's not busy, whatever, and he'll refer you a crew. He'll actually sometimes even be happy, he or she, to refer you a crew, because sometimes when they can't find any work for their crews leave and go work for someone else, and it could be far away, and it's hard to get them back. It's hard to, like, if they're doing a job for another guy, 60 miles away, and that guy all of a sudden gave him a 2 or 3 month job, it's hard to get him back. So you'd be surprised. I have investors sometimes, they're like, what do you got, Joe? I'm like, hey man, I just got this little 4 or 6 week rehab. Yeah, no problem. And then refer you these guys. And once again, you're getting workers that are absolutely skilled, they're vetted, and they're reasonably priced, because that's why the investor uses them. Number 2, try to avoid hiring people that are what I call institutionalized. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is, I don't really like, and no offense, they could do great work, right? But I don't really like hiring organizations or companies where they have these beautifully painted trucks, with these beautifully painted logos on them, and, Bob's Construction and this and that on it, Hey, everybody deserves to make a living, and I'm sure they do great work. But the bottom line is as a real estate investor, I need people that are probably going to be more flexible in their pricing and who want to work on a reasonable daily wage. Not an organization like that that's already got pricing Guys like that sometimes, they charge you $100 just to come out to go to your property. I mean, they don't even do any work. They could just look at it. The service call fee is $100, and then they're writing you up for $400, $500, $600, $700 repairs or whatever, and it could take them 2 or 3 hours. And meanwhile, you could have, for half that wage, you could have gotten a really skilled person and you could have paid them to do the work for an entire day, as opposed to like half a day's work, okay? So me, what kind of guy I like? Hey, I'm actually kind of happy if he shows up in a beat up Chevy or beat up Ford. No, not too beat up, with the mufflers like, hanging on the back, but I mean a guy that I like, just a regular hard-working guy with a regular work truck. I don't mind if it's a little beat up. I don't mind if his jeans are a little beat up. I don't mind if he's got some funky old t-shirts for artists who don't even exist anymore or whatever. That's the kind of guy I like, because that's the kind of guy who's gonna work for a reasonable wage, and that's the key to what I'm looking for, is reasonable wages. Number 3 is really big, okay? So I want you guys to pay attention. Number 3 is how to find your materials cheap. That's a really, really big one because you're only limited by your imagination, okay? I don't like paying full price for materials. I like getting quality materials, but not full price. So I'm gonna teach you guys some of the tricks that I do, that I employ, okay? I want you guys, everywhere you go, I want you to start asking questions and I want you to start looking. For example, when you go to Lowe's and you go to Home Depot and all that, they always have a section in the back of brand new things that are returned for whatever reason. They're returned, they delivered them to the homeowner. After one day, he didn't like it or for whatever reason, and he was able to get a full refund and he got it returned. Well, it's not a brand new item anymore. It's been opened. It's been in a box and it's been opened, so now the store can't sell it for the same price. Or it was a floor display or something, right? So they have sections in the back of the store where they sell you these things cheap. I get all kinds of crazy deals on them. I've bought like $2,500, $2,700 stainless steel stoves, and I've gotten like ridiculous discounts because they were missing like some grill pieces and missing something else, right? So I buy it, bring it home. My staff will call the manufacturer and say, "Hi, how are you? We just bought this thing. It's under warranty. It's missing these pieces. Can you go ahead and send them to us?" And guess what happens? The manufacturer will send you those pieces. Could take you 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get it, but check it out, you have it, This rule applies for anything. You're gonna find, like with flooring, you're gonna find with all kinds of other materials that sometimes there's companies out there who do a really big job. Like they can order 100,000 square feet of a certain kind of wood flooring, right? And then now this store might have like 2,800 square feet of that left over from the 100,000 square foot order they did, right? So as far as they're concerned, that's just like leftover. They'll blow that out. They'll blow it out dirt cheap and it's a good product. It's brand new. Sometimes you have stuff that's like discontinued and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just the style's changed or whatever, or they can't buy from that manufacturer anymore and it's great material and you're able to get it discontinued. For example, a lot of my material as far as like my flooring, my countertops, bathroom, shower tile, things like that, I get it from a place that just specializes selling hotels. All they do is do contracts for hotels and hotel chains. So these guys, when they get a contract to get like this Marriott or whatever hotel, and it's 500 rooms that they're gonna refurbish and provide all the flooring or tile, it's some really big quantity, right? And they buy in big quantity and these hotels negotiate in big quantity, so they get these really cheap rates. I'm able to call them up and say, "Hey, can I get 300 or 400 square feet or whatever?" And they will give me awesome pricing. As a matter of fact, some tile stores, some other stores try to buy from them as well and then mark it up 4 to 5 times as much. So you make the phone calls, you keep trying. I've done this with everything. I've done this with like bricks. I've done it with all kinds of plants and other materials. You'd be surprised. I've been able to get humongous palm trees at a fraction of the cost because there was a big job they did for the city and some trees were left over. So the thing is keep your eyes open and ask. And the biggest thing to remember is that you'd be surprised. Everything can be found really, really cheap as long as you keep your eyes open and keep asking for it, okay? This is really important, employ that. And once again, if you liked the video, if you think the content was useful, please subscribe, please like the video, and give me a chance to keep working hard to give you guys the best content that I can. Okay, you guys? So I hope you're having a great day today, and I look forward to giving you more great content.